This is your instructor Rani Sara, and welcome to Chemistry O Levels lectures. Today's topic which we are going to discuss is methods for preparation of salts. One thing important that I would like to tell you about salts. Salts is actually, as we all know, these are the products of neutralization reactions. And neutralization is a reaction which takes place between an acid and a base, giving us a salt plus water. So if somebody asks you to define what is neutralization, it is actually the reaction between an acid and base that gives us salt and water. Now, we have different methods for salts, but before that we need to know we have different types of salts as well. Some salts are soluble and some salts are insoluble. So we choose the method of salts on the basis of their solubility. If they are soluble in water, then we have different methods, and if they are insoluble, then we have different methods. For insoluble, the method is quite simple. We use precipitation method. In this method, we usually have two different salt solutions. We mix two different salt solutions, and as a result of the ion exchange method, or as a result of the radical exchange, we again get two salts, and one is insoluble, that is formed as precipitate, and one is soluble. So we can easily separate the insoluble one through precipitation, filtration, and we get the two salts separated. This is for the preparation of the salts which are insoluble by precipitation method. Similarly, we have some salts which are soluble, and for soluble salts we have different methods. We have categorized the methods into two categories depending upon the experimental techniques which we are going to use. So for first three methods, we have the same experimental techniques being applied. First is that we can react an insoluble metal, a solid metal, with an acid. That will give us salt plus hydrogen gas is released. This is first method. Then we have metal carbonates, solid metal carbonates, insoluble metal carbonates. That will also react with an acid, and again we get a salt plus carbon dioxide plus water is formed. Salt is in aqueous form, gaseous, liquid, and then another is metal oxide which reacts with an acid, and we get salt plus water. These are the three methods which follow the techniques of dissolving. First we dissolve, the step number 1 according to CIEs when you are going to write. Then we have filtering, the unreacted or excess of reactant is removed by filtration. And then this is the second step, and then we go for crystallization to get our salt separated from water. And last is that we dry our crystals between the folds of filter paper. This is the fourth step. So basically, let me have a quick recap of that. We have different types of salts. Some salts are soluble in water, some are insoluble in water, and if insoluble, we will opt for precipitation method. Precipitation method is simply the step number 1, dissolving the 2 salt solutions and then mixing them properly and filtering out your insoluble salt that has been settled as a precipitate from a soluble salt, and then drying the crystals between the folds of filter paper. Similarly, for soluble salts, we have first 3 methods in which we are using an insoluble reagents like metal. Solid metal is being used, insoluble metal carbonate is used, and insoluble metal oxide is used. So all these 3 reagents are insoluble and they are reacted one by one with the respective acids, and then we are getting salt plus different in first, for example, we get salt plus hydrogen gas. You can check this hydrogen gas by pop-up sound. If you bring a lighted splint near the test tube, it will be extinguished with a pop-up sound, so you can identify that the gas releases hydrogen gas. Similarly, you can go for insoluble metal carbonate reacted with an acid, and in this case you get a carbon dioxide gas. You can check it with lime water. If the lime water turns milky, that makes us sure that it is carbon dioxide gases released, and then we have a metal oxide in which you get salt plus water. So all of these products and reactants, they involve different combine same scheme. Like first we need to dissolve the reagents, then we need to filter out the excess of the reagent. For example, if the metal oxide starts settling, metal oxide or metal starts settling down, it means the reaction is complete and all the acid has been used. Now you can filter out your excess of metal left by filtration, and then you go for crystallization. Crystallization involves the drying of the water, and you will get your salt, and you can then transfer your salt on between the folds of filter paper and dry them out to get your crystals back. This is all about the method. Now we are having another fourth method, that is neutralization, acid plus salt.